And the founder of In Good Clean Taste. I am dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs design a healthy lifestyle by incorporating healthy, delicious tools, tips, and resources that empower their inner and outer game. Every episode, my featured guest and I share our healthy, delicious lifestyle journey on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Hello, hello, and thank you so much for being here on Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Today's guest has an absolutely amazing story, and she is a dear, dear friend of mine, so I hope you will give her a very warm welcome. And as an aside, if you are ever interested in learning more about me, my products and services, you can always check those out at ingoodcleantaste.com. So today's show topic is how to arrange a healthy lifestyle that fits, because not one size fits all, with Letasha Howe. So I'm going to bring her up from the green room in just a minute, but let me tell you about this powerhouse first. So Letasha Howe, also known as Coach Letasha, is the Holistic Life and Wellness Engineer / Coach, right? Cool. Check this out. She helps busy, on-the-go, stressed-out professionals lose weight without cutting out their favorite foods, doing extreme workouts, or giving up their social life. Hello, this is why we're friends. She is essentially an engineer, a project manager, a therapist, your BFF, a nutritionist, personal trainer, and spiritual guide all in one. Now, Coach Letasha studies people's natural systems and helps them implement them in different areas of their life in which they're struggling, like weight loss, mindset, managing their energy, right? This is like her engineering background. She's figuring out what's going on. And her clients need to do things their way and learn how to create their own routines and habits so that they can create the best version of themselves today. So, like, for example, how she lost 60 pounds eating cake and drinking wine, right? This is how she designs her programs to show people how to flow and use their own systems to lose weight. So I am going to bring her up. You're going to get to meet her, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. Hello, Letasha.
Hi. How you
How's
doing,
it
Claudine?
going? Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. So I'm going to ask you the question I ask all of my guests first, and then I really want to talk about your journey because I think it's really great for people to hear this.
Okay.
So first off, tell us, what does a healthy, delicious lifestyle mean to you?
So a healthy, delicious lifestyle means it's a holistic, healthy, balanced lifestyle that includes my favorite foods. So it's not like these clean foods. Like my favorite food is like stewed lamb, Haitian rice and beans, and macaroni and cheese with a bed of broccoli. It has to be delicious. My kids are even the same way.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Now, I love this episode for you because how to arrange a healthy lifestyle that fits and not one size fits all. For me, that means two things when it comes to you and me, right? So one, it's your story. And I want people to hear your story because I think it's really impactful. And two, it's that you and I are both in the health and wellness space, but we come at it from two totally different angles. Like our
Right.
clients as a whole make great progress, but there's totally different ways. And so I want people to understand there's not just one way to be healthy. There's not just one way to be fit or lose weight. There's
Right.
different ways that you can do it, and you just need to find the way that aligns with you. So tell us your story. I want to hear your story.
Well, I have multiple stories. The major one is I moved. I moved cross country from Boston, Massachusetts to Texas. And I had a 1.5-year-old, 3-year-old, new place. I was over 200 pounds and I was working for a multi-billion-dollar company doing software as a project manager. And I was overweight in a new place. And I didn't have any time to go to the gym or lose weight. And I knew I needed to lose weight, and I just stopped nursing, and I didn't know what to do. So I kind of went on a diet binge. I literally tried all different diets to lose the weight. And what ended up happening was I started off with Weight Watchers. I took a diet, did it, was successful. I threw away the things that didn't work for me, that didn't serve me, and I borrowed everything that I love to fit my lifestyle. And then I moved on to the second diet. And so I went from diet to diet to diet, borrowing the different tools to help me get to the weight. Because the issue is when you lose the weight, how do you maintain it with your lifestyle? How do I maintain it with two toddlers, working like hours, 10 hours a day, being married, having a social life, and balancing it all? So that's why I became a life coach. Because I think dieting is easy. It is for me because it's math, calories in, calories out. You could lose it drinking wine. That's like I said, it's those parts are easy to me. It was balancing my life and keeping my sanity.
And I love that that's what you do with your clients, right? You help them figure out ways that work for them in their lifestyle because it isn't one size fits all. Not everyone's going to have the same life things to balance, right?
No.
So, someone might have small children, someone might have teenage kids, someone might have no kids, someone might have, they work from home, someone might be at corporate, someone might be traveling all the time, like figuring out how to take all the variables of their life and incorporate them into something that works for them, that works not just for the short term, but for the long haul. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was a project manager and I managed the problems, we call them the critical situation. I was one of the managers for the critical situations, and we had tons of critical situations come in over and over, and I had to manage them. And it was really frustrating because I was managing software for this company, but I wasn't managing my life. So it was something like that, where how do I take the tools that I have at work, designing, math, engineering, doing the math, and apply it to my life? With the wellness industry, you know this, like we go on diets and we go to the gym, but the whole lifestyle change balance is hard to figure out. And so that's
Yeah.
why I fell in love. It's really hard to, because you could, like I said, you could lose the weight, you could lose the pounds, you could start going to the gym. That is a system you're putting in, but incorporating all systems together, there will always be conflicts. There will always be change management. There will always be disapprovals. So how do you emotionally, mentally, spiritually handle that? Some women are successful, some people move away, some people fight, flight, what other trauma terms that we use? We do that mentally and emotionally, and we don't really figure it out. We just chug along and get
Yeah.
stressed out and burn
Yeah.
out, you know?
I'm calling that a zesty citrus moment right there. Finding ways. Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about your approach is that because you have this project management background, because you are an engineer by training, you're thinking logically, like, what are the steps that need to happen to get there? And that's great. I think that's not necessarily not normal. It's not necessarily common in the weight loss world, right?
No.
Yeah, it's usually just like, oh, do this diet that fits it's supposed to fit all. It's supposed to work for everybody and then go from there. So I love that. So I wanted to talk about one of the things that you mentioned to me before this, which was your share. Always keep your love foods in your diet as you lose weight. These are your most favorite foods, or temporarily take them out of your diet and learn how to reintroduce them to fit your lifestyle. Tell us more about this because I've got favorite foods. I'm sure everyone out there has favorite foods and they want to know, how do I do this by still having my favorite X?
So going back to the story, right? So you have you get out of college or you get into the industry and you're socially eating with your friends. So sometimes it's not necessarily your favorite foods because you're compromising on it. And then you get into a love relationship. And so you're eating food with them and you're compromising there. Or you have children. So you're eating mac and cheese or chicken nuggets. I don't know what you're doing, but you're eating these other foods that are not your own and they're not your favorite. But there's always this food, whether it's chocolate or wine, cake for me, right? You want it and you love it. And so the way I think about it is like a reverse engineer. Think of yourself being 70 years old. What is the food that you're going to always have and always want and always love that's not going to destroy your health? And are you going to eat that food? Right? So let's just say cake. Normally, they would say cake is really bad for you, but I love celebrations. I think birthdays are like the best holiday out of the year, right? So I'm going to have cake. I'm not going to be 70 years old saying, "Oh, I'm not going to have cake." It's just what kind of cake? How delicious is it? Where is it baked? Is it healthy? It's who made it? That's what's important. I'm not going to say I'm not going to have cake. So if I'm going to have cake in my diet, why don't I reverse engineer it, figure out what kind of cake it is, and then today move to having that cake in my diet. How often should I
Yeah.
have it? So for me, I have cake during special occasions, birthdays. If that cake is not good, I do not eat it. And then for my birthday, I always order my favorite cake. And that's so I don't no longer have cake on a weekly basis and binge on it. And because I could eat a whole like pile of cake. I love it. I could eat cake all day, but it doesn't make me feel good. But eating it occasionally and eating it socially and soulfully with my friends and family makes me extremely happy. And that's
Yes.
my equation.
Yes. And Latasha's birthday's in September, y'all, if you want to send her a cake. Just put that on your calendar right now. And I will take that one step further because you know that I like cake as well, but I can't have gluten. It will mess me up. And it's at the point where it's not even worth it for me. So I have reverse engineered what kind of cake, like with the ingredients I want to put in a cake so that it still tastes as delicious as cake. It still gives me that satisfaction, but it doesn't give me a migraine, right?
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Reverse engineering it to fit whatever you want it to fit, whether it's your caloric intake for the day, whether it's a health outcome, whether it's a pain outcome or a lack of pain outcome, like figuring out how to make it work. That's awesome. Yay.
I have a
That's
story behind it if you want to know the
yes.
story.
Tell me the story.
So I went on this whole 30 no, it wasn't whole 30. It was a 30 days clean eating. So anything from the ground, anything from an animal, totally clean. Fruits,
Mhm.
vegetables, grains, meats, grass-fed preferably, no sugar, alcohol in it. Did this for 30 days and I was
Are
super
cake
happy,
pops
right?
from the ground? Because they have a stick.
I, so I didn't, I I did have baked goods because baked goods is my weakness, but I
Mhm.
couldn't have cake because of the processed sugar, right? So no
Mhm.
processed food or anything. And so I ate 100% clean for 30 days. And my stickler and hyperachiever was very happy. But it was in the middle of October. If you guys don't know me, I love pumpkin. And so I missed out on pumpkin beer, Oktoberfest. All, so November 1st came and I went in my car and I drove. I drove to 3 liquor stores. And I felt like a lush because I was looking for pumpkin beer and they were gone. Winter beer was coming in. And I remember going to the third convenience store, liquor store. I found my beer. I sat in the car and I popped it open. I don't even know where I found the beer opener and I drank it in the car. And I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that. Why would I ever do that? Because I skipped out on so much pumpkin
Yeah.
uniqueness. So I engineered a little bit is I love eating clean, right? So this was like 100% clean. So I moved to, okay, I'll be between 80 to 90% clean, but I need this room for this 10%. And what is this 10% going to be for me? And
Mhm.
that's how it became the favorite foods. It had to be special foods. It wasn't the other things. It wasn't snacking. It was just the festivals. It's just the atmosphere. I'm a soulful person and I love to socially eat with people and I will never eliminate that out of my life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love what you're saying to make it special. So it's not like I used to do where I'd sit down with a big old remember those big cans of Pringles? I mean, you don't need to remember them, they're still around. But like barbecue flavor was my kryptonite. And I would like sit down and have one of those a day. Like, but that's not special, right? It's not special when you're having one of those every day, but making it a special occasion, really savoring it rather than what I
Yeah,
used to do is I would just inhale food and then I'm like, did I even eat that? I don't remember.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So I love
So
that.
there's a spectrum, right? So I feel like the fitness and wellness industry has one side of the spectrum, but the lifestyle end of the spectrum, you have to figure out on your own. And that causes more stress and burnout. So that's where I come into
Mm.
place is, okay, so you have this special cake or special beer or uniqueness that you really love. Again, you love it. And so how do I fit this in? Is it once a week, once a month, once a quarter? Is it little at a time? Everybody has a unique system on how they
Mhm.
process things, and it's important to identify it. It's not what your trainer said or your nutritionist says, it's what resonate in your soul.
Yes. Well, not only what resonates in your soul, what works for your body. Because
Yes.
regardless of what we said, we've heard in the weight loss space, the fitness space, where it's like everyone should be doing keto or everyone should be doing
Uh,
CrossFit. It's like no, no.
no,
Not
no,
only are our bodies
no.
unique for women, especially we are on a cycle. We don't need to do the same thing every day because every day our body's different. I could go on
Right.
a tangent there, but I want to talk about the next thing, which you had said, which is always eat your love foods with intent to nourish your mind, body, heart, and soul. Tell us what you mean about that.
All right. So I believe that we are mind, mindful, emotional, physical, and spiritual beings. That's what make us
Mhm.
up. And when we go to eat, we're not mindful of those things. I think we some people eat to nourish their body, some people emotionally eat, some people spiritually eat, meaning going on a fast or do it for religious reasons. But it's
Mm.
not holistic, right? I could go to mosque, go to church, go to temple to eat a specific way, and then I go home and eat with my family a different way. And then when I'm out with my friends and family, it's still different. But you're not
Mhm.
honoring yourself holistically because you are all of the above. So if you start eating food and treating food as something to nourish you holistically, it works out. Because now as you move from place to place, you are being holistic and you are nourishing yourself. And there's not a question on your dieting because it's your new lifestyle.
Yes, I love that. And I also love though using the word intent, like intention,
It
because
is.
I noticed that for me and a lot of the women that I work with, the ones that you work with too, we're busy, right? So we're constantly running around from place to place to place. And if you don't sit down and actually notice your food, like we're going to talk about mindfulness when it comes to eating, right? Like
Right.
looking at your food, smelling it, tasting it, taking the time to like eat it slowly. Cause I know that as I mentioned with the Pringles, like I am guilty sometimes of just inhaling the food and not realizing, wait, did I even eat? But I have to constantly remind myself because I'm like always wanting to get to the next thing, right?
Right.
No, I need to take the time to actually enjoy my food. And part of that is because I want to remember that I ate it. And the other part is that it takes your stomach 20 minutes to tell your brain it's actually full. So if I will
Exactly.
tend to overeat if I don't do that. And then I feel not great. So
Mine was wine. So that's how wine came in. So again, I'm in Texas. They actually have yummy wine, and I didn't know how much wine I could drink, right? And if you're socially drinking, you, how much glasses do you have when you're on a diet? Can you have alcohol, not have alcohol? So I kind of went through this transformation of what is wine to me? How do I drink it? What's my favorite wine? Do I like it?
Mm,
Am I liking it because I'm drinking it with somebody else, or is it mine? So I came up with a formula. I socially drink, but I love wine at a relaxed setting. I don't need to have it when I'm out with my friends. I like to have it when like if we're in a chat like right now with you or with my close friends and family, or I like it to have it at the end of the day to wind down in one glass. Like I had to ask, how many glasses can I have? I can have one glass, maybe two, but as I'm drinking it, I like to taste it. You should really taste it and enjoy it versus chugging it down. And I've heard a
mm,
lot of people chugging bottles of wine down, but that's because you're trying to consume alcohol versus really enjoy the grapes, enjoy with
yeah.
the region it comes from, enjoy the pairing that that you like to pair it with, the foods that you like to pair it with. There's so
Mhm.
much different things when you are being mindful of drinking wine that people overlook. And I love wine for that, right? That's why I end up keeping wine in my diet. I love it so much, you
Yeah,
know?
sip it like the French. But you know what's really good about that is I think a lot of women, when they get into their 40s and beyond, start to realize that wine doesn't behave in their bodies the way it used to,
No.
but they don't want to give it up, right? So really being mindful about, okay, if is tonight the night I'm going to have some wine because I know
Right.
I'm not going to sleep well or I'm going to not feel great or whatever the impact is on your body. For most women, especially 40s and beyond, when you have wine, you're not going to have a great night's sleep. So when are the occasions to have it? How much? I've talked to some women who are like, I know that I can have a glass once or twice a week. But
Right.
if I go beyond that, then I start to really feel the effects. So thinking of it not as deprivation, but thinking of it more as doing something for yourself, like for the good of your body the next day, right? So for your future self. I love that.
Yeah, and even clean. That's why you're friends with me is some wines are not really good for you. They're not clean. They're not like what we if we go
Mm,
to Spain or Rome and we don't know that. So even the research and what you can't really read the label of wine, but you can, right? And so I'm moving definitely towards a lot of clean wine, and it's totally different than a lot of the American wine here. So even the knowledge behind it. So I because I know a lot of like it was dry season in the month of January, a lot of people are cutting out wine, but it's because they feel lethargic, because it's bad for them after having one glass. But if they switch grapes and they switch vineyards and they move to a cleaner wine, they wouldn't have that effect. And they can have 2 to 3 glasses a week without feeling those effects. So that's what I said. It's even deeper because it's like reading the ingredients to foods or reason why you had to give up gluten and dairy and sugar. It's really important to understand because what's going into your body. Because back in the days, we used to pick up food and bottles of wine from our neighbors. It wasn't from this mass produce place out of, I don't know, Ohio, and you don't know what they're doing and you don't know what they're putting in the foods. And so we have to really be mindful moving forward about what we're putting into our bodies to make sure it's really clean for us.
Yeah, nothing against Ohio, y'all. Because the
Oh,
average
no.
bottle, the average bottle of wine in the US has 70 additives, which those are gonna mess up our hormones. It's gonna mess up a lot of things in our bodies. You know, our whole system that tries to detoxify it. It's like gonna be overwhelmed. And yeah, there are a
Right.
lot of companies now making wines without alcohol because they know that people want the social aspect of it. They like the taste,
Right.
but the alcohol is the thing that's keep holding them back. So a lot of companies are getting smart about this now. So that's awesome. All right, I want to get to some of the cool things that you shared with me.
Okay.
Let me find it. Oh yes. So finding the right tools that work for you in your health goals. So as we mentioned, not one size doesn't fit all. And there's some great things that you shared with me that I absolutely love. If I can bring them up. Here we go. Tell us about this planner. I want to know what it is about this planner that helps you in you and your clients with their health and weight loss goals.
So the biggest thing that I love is just writing down, right? So again, mind, body, heart, and soul, writing down your agenda. We're on our phones, we're on electronics, and a routine for our habits starts off with pen and paper or doing a mindful. You could definitely type it up, but we don't even do a lot of typings. We do a lot of clicking. So even
Mhm.
if you need to type it up, I do have a digital copy of it. It's really important to write down your habits. And one of the main habits is make sure you drink your water, weigh yourself every single day, be intentional about what your workout is and what your meal plan is going to be. And so this planner allows you and gives you that room to track your water, track your food, track your exercises, and other and meditation and other healthy habits in it. That's one of the major things. And then also, I actually do have a digital copy. I don't know if you want to see. I have it. You have a calendar view, and then you have a weekly view, right?
Nice.
And so the weekly view, what I like to write in is when are you going to eat breakfast? When are you going to eat lunch? When are you going to eat dinner? The reason why I have you pencil that in is because you don't necessarily honor yourself. A lot of my clients, they're missing meals. And that's why they're not losing weight. And so we get to track, why are you missing breakfast? Well, the kids this and I needed to rush into work and I need to okay. So if that's the situation, how do we adjust the time and timing and when you eat? Most of my clients have to eat on the go. So I pencil in, okay, so you missed making your protein shake. So you have a backup organic protein shake in the refrigerator that you can grab and drink on the way to work, something like that. But
Mhm.
before we can be able to solution with my clients, we have to kind of map out the current lifestyle so we can make a small tweak to lifestyle change.
And
And then there's goal setting. So there's
yeah.
also goal setting. There's more stuff, but those are the three main things that I love about
Well, and I get all geeked out about this. You and I are both
it.
we both come from logical linear professions where we had to plan. If you wanted to get things done, you had to have a
Yeah,
plan. And I feel like that's what's missing for a lot of people in their health and weight loss goals is that if you don't plan that you're going to drink this much water a day, if you don't plan to have certain meals, like when you're going to have the meals, what you're going to eat, have it ready so that when it comes to that time, you actually have something to eat. Like if you don't
right.
plan it, it's what is the expression? Fail to plan to fail, or plan to what's that? Fail to plan to fail. Yeah. If you don't plan it, it's most likely not going to happen, especially the way people work, the way that the way that our lives are today. We're
Right.
so busy. Things are getting thrown at us all the time, especially for women, because we carry all we're wearing all the hats. We're throwing
Right.
all the balls in the air. And I mean, just think of it as how you would do for your business or for your work is that you're planning out certain tasks you want to complete in the week. Plan it out for your health because what's more important, right?
Right. And also, again, I'm coming from a logical project management perspective, which is we're planning for success, but we're not really planning for failure. And I don't want to say that to
Mm,
alarm anybody, but at the end of the day, efficiency is very important. So if you're only measuring success, I'm going to go work out here and eat here, and not measuring, well, this is when I fail and this is how I'm going to mitigate the problem, you're
mhm.
not going to be successful. So the reason why I love the planner is not because I expect you to be successful. It's just what's the problems, because that's my job, is to fix the problems that come in, make sure I provide a good workaround. We do it for work,
Yes.
we do it for our kids, we do it in our relationships, in romantic relationships. But when it comes to our personal development and wellness, we do not adjust quickly. We give up quickly. So
Yes, I
that's what
love
it is,
that. And I
you
always say
know?
have a backup plan,
You
right? Like,
have to.
especially when it comes to food, because you'll say to yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna make dinner at 5 o'clock." Well, then something
Right,
happened and you
right.
don't get home till 6, then what? So I always have like a soup or something that I've made there, or something in the freezer that like this is my emergency backup
Mhm.
option because yeah, things are gonna life happens, right?
Yes.
So tell us about this. I want to know about this special scale, why you like it, why you recommend it to clients. It looks kind of fancy. It looks like it integrates with your phone. Tell me more.
Okay, so the biggest thing is we're losing weight, right? The weight is going up and down, and at the end of the day, the reality is every time somebody wants to lose weight, they want to go down, right? They want the weight to go down. When the reality is the weight goes ups and down, up and down, up and down, right? And so what I do with people is your life is like this, and I just tilt it. So so your weight is going up and down. And so I want you to see it. So this allows you to weigh yourself, and then there's an app so you can see your weight go up and down, right? There's a minimum and there's a maximum. Usually people fluctuate 3, some people 5 pounds, but I want you to be able to see that fluctuation and see that going down over a period of time. You get to see that in the app. The other thing is body fat, right? So it's not necessarily your weight that you want to go down, it's your percent body fat. And I want to start training women. And when they see it, it's not me telling them, you get to see your percent body fat go down. Because if your weight is going down and your percent body fat is still the same, we're not dieting properly. We're just losing weight, we're losing muscle, we're losing water, we're losing other things, but we're not losing the fat, which is what we're really trying to attack. So this helps with the fat as well. And BMI, there's other measurements, but those are the major things that I love to help women do first thing in the morning. And you have an app, and then you could share it with your coach or friends and family.
I love the percentage fat thing because, and I'll just kind of underscore that because like a pound of fat is like this much, right? A pound of
Right.
muscle is like this much. So even though they weigh the same, your body's going to look very different at that same weight. So measuring
Yeah.
the fat going down, because yeah, I could easily drop 5 pounds right now in muscle. Is I'm not going to look
And
any
muscle.
better.
Then you guys know, so I also have done bodybuilding competitions, so your lean mass is there as well. So there's other people that
Mm,
are gaining weight, and they're trying to gain mass, but you can gain fat as well. So when you get down into that, it's really important to know what you're working with. And again, I physically measure myself. I look myself in the mirror and I see the weight going down, but you don't really do a healthy job about going into the mirror and to say, okay, where's the weight? And I lose the weight from top to bottom, which is shocking. So I lose it
mm,
first my face, then my arms and chest, and then my legs, and then my hips and butt. Like I have to lose it there first. That's my body design. I have another friend that loses weight all over, and the last place is her calves. So her calves stays big. So everybody loses weight differently. And I don't think people are in tune, or especially women are in tune with where they lose weight and where they want to lose the fat or where they want to
mhm.
gain the muscle if they're doing weightlifting.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's a really great thing to be conscious of is where do you lose the weight? So that's what you're looking at versus
Right.
why isn't this one place that I'm obsessed with going down?
Right.
So I want to talk about this. Okay, I had never seen this before, but I had heard of the ingredients. So I want you to tell us about this. I think it's called ab cuts, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Tell us. Tell us more.
So it's great if you're trying to cut your abs and you're doing cardio and workouts and you need an extra boost to burn the body fat. You take these before the workout and you literally sweat. You can feel the sweat going off and it helps. There's like different ingredients to help target the fat muscles in your abs. I also wear a corset, and I do a lot of ab and cardio exercises, but it's really a good supplement to really help burn the fat. It also encourages me to eat clean, because if I'm burning fat, I'm not necessarily eating a lot of cake and drinking a lot of wine, maybe one glass of wine. But when I'm on it, like I'm burning fat, I'm eating clean, I'm doing my cardio, and my abs are coming in. So anybody who wants to have flat abs, I strongly recommend it. Do it for a month. Go on a clean eating system with a glass of wine and do your cardio and exercises, and you'll see a result definitely after a month.
And it has CLA in it, which is an ingredient that's been known in the weight loss industry for a while to help you kind of release some of the fat. So yeah, it's not like it's made with weird stuff. Okay.
No, I actually. So you're the clean person. Did you look at all the ingredients to see how clean it is? For me, it was fine, but I haven't looked at the ingredients lately.
Yeah, no, I did look at the ingredients. Yeah, I wouldn't be putting it on here if I was like, that's some weird stuff. No, it was stuff that I recognized. I'm like, okay, cool.
So,
So that's absolutely awesome. So one other thing is that I want to mention, a lot of women, when they're going through the whole weight loss experience, they're often feeding their families one thing and they're eating another, or or if they're trying to eat like some diet plan, they're getting a lot of pushback from the family. So one of the things that we've talked about before that I like to do is basically trick the family into eating clean. So kind of, we talked about the cake earlier. So I'll make a cake with clean ingredients. So it'll be with 100% pure maple syrup instead of sugar. And it'll be with either almond flour or a gluten-free flour mix that I really like, instead of wheat flour, that kind of stuff. So
right.
I don't know what your thoughts are on this, because you've worked with women as well in terms of getting your family to like tricking them into eating things that are healthier. I mean, you have kids.
Yes. So the two thoughts that came into mind is, the first one is helping them identify it. So at the end of the day, I tell my kids every season, there are 5 vegetables that I need to cook, and you guys pick. So we pick and choose it. So it's not really a trick, but I'm involving them in the dinner. So I have 2 kids, and they help me plan dinner. And so they know one likes corn and no, Brussels sprouts. The other one doesn't like Brussels sprouts, wants green beans, and so they fight. So it becomes really fun to talk about meal planning and what they eat, and they have to eat the vegetables because they won't get dessert or something else. So that's one way, is to involve the children in the planning. And the other method that I'm doing now is, because of wintertime, I'm increasing the vegetables. My daughter pointed it out. She's like, Mom, there's more vegetables on my plate than normal. And I was like, yes, because I don't want you to get sick. But you have to eat your vegetables. You have to eat your vegetables because it's on your plate. One of the rules I have is, when I plate you food, you have to eat everything. So you have to tell me if it's too much or if you want more. And they're noticing I'm increasing vegetables, but I'm explaining to them, especially after the pandemic, what's going on and how to stay healthy. And they're listening to it. They roll their eyes, but they're okay with the small increase in vegetables, and they know
Yes.
why. They're just kids and they prefer to have sugar, but you can't have sugar before you have your dinner. Um,
Yep.
the other trick that I use, one more I had, you're not allowed to have 1 cup of juice, or any, I don't have soda in the house. For every 1 cup of non-water drinks, you have to have 4 cups of water. So every time they have a cup of juice, they have to have 4 cups of water for that 1 cup of juice.
Nice.
And they stick to it to this day. So I'm like, are you drinking that cup of water? That cup of juice, did you have your water? Yes. Yes, I did, Mom. I had more water. I'm tired of drinking water. I'm like, great.
That's funny, because my mom does a version of that. She'll put a little bit of juice and then she'll dilute it with water, right? So like you
Ah,
get the flavor. She does that for my dad a lot. Don't tell him. I hope you're not watching, Dad. Because he likes the flavor, but she's like, you need to have more water. So I know that we could talk all day. This is probably the
yes.
longest one we've done so far, because like we have so much great stuff to share. And we just could go on and on. So what I'm going to do now, thank you so much for all this great info. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to drop you in the green room.
Okay.
Stay there, grab your mocktail.
My water.
Yay. Awesome. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that absolutely fantastic? I will definitely be linking the products that we talked about in the show notes, the things that Letasha recommended, because I know you're going to want to check those out. I'll put them in the notes. And yeah, of course, she has so much great information on how to eat delicious foods while still meeting your health and weight loss goals. So thank you so much for joining us today. And keep in mind, I want you to think about how are you going to create a healthy, delicious lifestyle for yourself, right? And until then, be sure to join me for another episode of Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central. And be sure to have a healthy, delicious lifestyle. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my products, and services at ingoodcleantaste.com. Be sure to join me for another episode every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on my globally recognized show, Healthy Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine.